Alright guys, we're going to do a review today of the Tikka T3x TAC A1 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. So far I've had about 600 rounds for this rifle. I understand that's not very many. However, I have to get this video out before somebody buys a precision rifle that isn't this one. There are a lot of rifles on the market right now. It's kind of flooded and a lot of people don't know what to buy. I see this on Face Group all day long. I don't know what rifle to get. Do I want the Bergard? Do I want the Savage? Blah, blah, blah. The answer is you want the Tikka. Hands down, and I'm very confident in saying that. For those of you that don't know me, I sell firearms for a living. I sell a lot of firearms for a living. I've been able to get my hands on a lot of different rifles in a lot of different configurations by a lot of different companies and brands. And this one outperforms them all, and it literally does almost everything better. So I just need, spoiler alert, you don't need to watch the whole video. This rifle is incredible. Just go get one. I'm not going to talk about why I chose 6.5 Creedmoor over 308. There's a billion things on the internet that'll tell you the answer to that. So, I mean, go look it up. At the end of the day, wind deflection is why I chose 6.5 Creedmoor. So, there you have that. We're going to start by talking about the rifle itself, and then we'll talk about configuration, how I set it up and why I set it up this way, and that kind of thing. So, we'll kind of go front to back, I guess. I've got no prep for this video at all. I kind of like to do this live. I'm not really a YouTube video guy. I just like to put out info so people don't waste their money. So bear with me, obviously. The barrel on this gun, one of the things that's a little bit different about it is it's a cold hammer forged barrel rather than a button rifle. You know, I think the Bartline barrels are button rifled. Excellent barrels, by the way. But this is a cold hammer forged barrel. Typically, you only hear about cold hammer forged barrels on AR-15s or guns that are designed to fire tons of rounds really quickly and so forth. But this one's cold hammer forged, and it shoots half MOA all day long. So I'm kind of hoping that the cold hammer forged way this barrel is made helps with barrel life a little bit and hopefully extends the barrel life from a regular 6.5 Creedmoor. We'll see. I'll get there one day and I'll let you know. But 1 and 8 twist, I'm almost positive. I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Good twist rate. Most all 6.5 seems to kind of have the same twist rate. So yeah, that is the barrel. Let's talk about the handguard real quick. It's pretty self-explanatory. M-LOK is king. If you have, I mean, if you're an AR guy, you've already heard the M-LOK key mod deal, but M-LOK is king. I like M-LOK a lot. Not only does it look way better, it's easier to cut, it's easier to, well, it's way easier to look at, I guess, again. But stuff seems to work really well on it rather than key mod. So I prefer the M-LOK over the key mod drastically. Now, if you have key mod stuff, don't throw it all away and go buy M-LOK. If you're starting fresh, buy M-LOK. But key mod works just fine. I had key mod for a lot of years on some ARs. I still have it on a Knight's Armament gun, and it works great. But if I had to do it over again, I'd get M-LOK. This is, I don't know how long this handguard is, maybe 13 inches or something like that, 12 or 13 inches. Seems like plenty. I would have liked it if they could have brought it all the way out to the front. On my ARs, I prefer handguards as long as possible. But, you know, it is what it is. Seems to work just fine, no problem. So that's the handguard. It comes off really easy, by the way. 2 screws, handguard's off, you're good to go. Let's talk about the action. So if you've done any research or talked to anybody, the Tikka actions are famous. And the reason why is because they're stupid smooth. They feel like a custom bolt gun. When you run this action, it's just like butter. It's got a little bit of wiggle back here, you know, it's not a Defiance, you know, machined action or whatever, but the action's crazy smooth. It's nice and easy to use. Now, that's something that I've used to sell these rifles for a long time, is how smooth the action is, because you can pick it up and feel that difference over almost any other gun on the shelf. That being said, I didn't really truly realize the real world benefit of having that smooth action until the other day. So I'll try to demonstrate this. So I'm at the range with some buddies. One of them's got a Savage Ashbury, which is a fine gun. This gun is better, but you know, it's a fine gun. So I go to shoot it, and I'll kind of show you what it looked like. So I get up on the gun, and I go to chamber around, and I'm used to this gun, so I chamber around. I just kind of push it through. The round pops out of the magazine, and it falls right in. Now on the Savage, I'm back here like trying to get this thing in the chamber, and you know, I as I'm getting it in, I have to slam the bolt forward, and as I do, I'm moving the gun, so I'm pushing the gun off my natural point of aim or whatever, you know, and by the time I get it. So that's what happens when the action isn't super smooth. Now on this gun, as I go to use it, basically what I do is I just, you know, close the action with the round in the chamber, and I pull the trigger, and I'm able to, you know, put a new round in the gun without moving at all. I don't have to exert a lot of force to get a round in or anything like that. So that's a real world benefit of the Tikka action. It's excellent. I mean, that pretty much sums up the action. So it's excellent. I want to talk about the magazine real quick. So one of the things that really swung me towards this rifle from the others was the magazine release. A lot of them have the AK style mag release, which I'm not a fan of. Some of them work really well. A lot of guns have the inside the trigger guard release where you push forward with your finger, and I don't know if I just have like weak child fingers or something, but it's annoying for me to use those. This I like a lot. When I want to drop the magazine, I just, you know, take my trigger finger and I push the button and the magazine falls out. On that same Savage we were working with, it was taking the PMags, you know, the Accuracy International style PMags, and you had to like rip them out. And when you went to put them in, you had to like put them in really hard, and it was a pain in the ass. On this gun, they just like fall out, and then they go in. A lot of people will complain that the Tikka magazines are extremely expensive, and that's true. You know, they're about $100, I think. But this gun, in particular, comes with 2 in the box, and then I believe the deal runs till the end of the year. They will give you a 3rd one for free. 3 magazines is a lot on a precision rifle. These are 10-round magazines, by the way, so that's a lot of magazines. I'll never need more than 3, most likely. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I feel like 3's a lot. So yeah, I don't have an issue with the expense of the magazines, and especially in the quality you get. I mean, these things are excellent. They run like butter, man. They go in and out, no problem. So, you know, try to do that on some of the other rifles at the store and see how it goes. One thing I will tell you, I've got a couple friends at this point who have the T3x CTRs, and they're freaking awesome guns too, by the way. They work great, but I will tell you that on one of them, he was having an issue with the magazine falling out when he was firing. What we ended up doing was taking a little flathead screwdriver and just popping this top notch up just a little bit to where that where the catch is, where the mag catch is, and that fixed the problem. So if you're having that issue on your Tikka, just pop that up right there, and you should be able to fix it. I understand it's not ideal spending $1,000 on a gun or $1,800 on a gun and then having to jack with the magazines, but it's a machine. It's a simple fix, guys. Just fix it, move on. That's actually the only bad thing I have to say about Tikka so far, so by the way. So yeah, that's the magazine and the magazine release. The only thing I've really changed from the factory configuration of the actual rifle is the pistol grip. The one that comes on it is okay. I didn't have a lot of issues with it. The reason I put this one on is because all my AR-15s have this grip, and it was just more natural to me. I liked it, and I didn't really like the look of the one that came on it. It looked kind of cheesy. This one looks a little better to me, but you know, yeah, pick your poison. This one's also adjustable if you want to adjust it, so that's nice. But that's pretty much the only thing that I've changed. I do like the safety location on this gun. It works pretty easily. I've had no issues with it. I do have to kind of break my grip to turn it off and turn it on, but you know, no big deal. It's right here at the top. You can see it. It's got the little release too if you need to move the bolt with the safeties on and you have a round chambered, I think. I don't know. I never use it, but it's there if you need it. Let's talk about the back half of the rifle. So the stock on this gun is awesome. That's been one of the things I've been seeing on a lot of these new factory precision rifles that are coming out. And the elephant in the room is the Ruger precision rifle. Like, the stock on the Ruger precision rifle is a pile of shit. I don't know if you guys know that or not, or those of you that have Ruger precision rifles, but I've had a ton of issues with the Ruger precision rifle stocks. That being said, like I said, I sell guns for a living, and I've had a lot of those come through the store, and they've been a nightmare. Once they're set, I think they're fine. But getting them set is really annoying, and you got to loosen both little throw levers, and it's just messy. Yeah, I'm probably being pedantic about it, but you know, it's annoying for me. The cheek piece on the Ruger like needs to be flipped around, and it works better. I don't know if you guys know that. If you're having trouble getting your eye relief, you're falling off the cheek piece, flip the cheek piece around on the Ruger precision rifle, and it'll be a lot better. That being said, that's enough of that. There are some other guns that have some decent stocks. Since we've talked about the Savage Ashbury, we'll continue to talk about it. It comes with a Magpul CTR stock, which is an AR-15 stock. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a poor choice for a precision rifle. Now, you know, it's adjustable easily like an AR-15 or whatever. Yeah, you can put whatever you want on it, but it's not great. It doesn't have an adjustable cheek piece, and a precision rifle needs an adjustable cheek piece. You can put the risers on it, but it's a pain, and they don't come with it, and blah, 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 whatever. This stock has adjustable length of pull, which I haven't had to touch, by the way. I think I have standard length arms, probably, but I haven't had to adjust the length of pull one bit, but it does come with some spacers, makes it easy to adjust. The cheek piece is great. You loosen the two deals and move it up and down. That's it. It's easy. It's clean. It's smooth. It works. This is an AR-15 castle nut that will accept an AR-15 buffer tube, so you can put a different stock on it if you want, which is great. Also, you probably noticed that it's a folding stock. I very rarely fold it, and it locks in freaking rock solid. That reminds me, the only complaint I have on this gun is kind of stock related. So you can see right here, this little spot, God, this thing's heavy. This little spot right there, piece of aluminum, let me show you what that's from. So when you fold the stock, it comes around here and just bangs on that. That's kind of dumb. I mean, this is a work gun, so it doesn't bother me that much, but it's stupid. You'll see here I put a little piece of electrical tape to try to help it, whatever. I don't know. They could have done something better there, I guess, but it's not the end of the world. So that's something to note. That's the only thing on this gun where I've been like, what the hell, that's kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Sling attachments. So since we're kind of talking about stock, we'll talk about sling attachments. So you got a QD here, you got an HK loop here, you got a QD here, and you got an HK loop here. They include in the box a QD and an HK loop. That's freaking incredible. That's as many sling points as you could ever need to do whatever you'd need with your gun. So that's really, really nice for them to include that. I'm a big fan of that. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. The trigger. So on this gun, it comes with a 2-stage trigger, which I like. I go back and forth on single stage and 2-stage, but I like the 2-stage on this gun. The CTR Tikkas have the single stage, which you can set down super light, which two of my friends have done with theirs, and they're awesome, man. I mean, they shoot great, but they got them down to like 2 pounds. And I don't know. It's a lot of preference there. But on this gun, this comes with a 2-stage trigger. And what that means, if you don't know, I'm trying to do it from the back, is the trigger, see it's got a noticeable take up there? So it's got a noticeable take up and then it hits a wall. And then after it's on the wall, it's about a 2.5 pound break, I think. I haven't measured it, but this is factory. I haven't touched this this trigger. So I've been a fan of it in the 2-stage. I like it if I'm wearing gloves or something like that. I like knowing that I have that predictable take up. On the CTR, you can set that thing down to 2.5 pounds, and it's really easy to bump it. So just something to know. I like the 2-stage trigger. It is adjustable. This thing comes out of the chassis super easy. It's very well designed. So yeah, I like the trigger. I wouldn't change it, and I haven't. That's basically it for the rifle itself, guys. And we'll talk about later how it actually shoots, and I'll roll in some photos of groups and things. But for the actual rifle itself, that's pretty much it. One thing I forgot on the stock was the pick rail down here, which is awesome. If you want to put a monopod on it, you got a pick rail ready to go. No BS. So it's just right there. Really nice. And I like the hook too, to hook your hand up under or set your rear bag. That seems to work really well. Okay, so we're gonna move on to optics. This gun, thankfully, I was finally able to afford a legendary piece of glass to put on this rifle. This is a Collis K624i, and I'm fairly new to this rifle scope. Actually, 8 months ago, if you would have said, hey, I need the best rifle scope in the world, I would have said you should probably be looking at Schmidt and Bender and Night Force. But this scope, and in my humble opinion, now I think this is the best rifle scope in the world, and that's as far as a combined package goes. So it's the Collis K624i. It's a 6-24 power, first focal plane, 56 millimeter objective, 34 millimeter tube rifle scope. One of the things you'll notice on this gun this scope that's a little different from most is the locations of the knobs. So the top view kind of explains it. Now you got your elevation, obviously. Right here you got a hard zero stop that will come down 0.3 mils, I believe, if you need to go down 0.3 mils. And then the clicks are just freaking incredible. You'll also notice, see if you can see it from the side, when you get on the second rotation there, that little red deal will pop up so you know you're on the second rotation, which is really nice. The clicks are just amazing. Best clicks I've ever felt, I think. So, what you can see on this scope, let's see if I can get it in the frame here. There you go. So on this scope, the parallax adjustment is very different from what you're used to. Typically you see that on the left side right here where the windage turret is, but on the Collis it's on the top. It's awesome. Basically what that does for you is while you're behind the gun, I can sit here, I can get a good natural point of aim, get set in, and I can open my left eye. I can see where my windage is, I can see where my elevation is, and I can see where my parallax is. On a standard rifle scope, I wouldn't be able to see my windage. I'd have to kind of lean my head over to peek at it and change my shooting position. Is that a big deal? Probably not, whatever. But why do it when you don't have to? What you have over here on this side is a gradual illumination, which is awesome, by the way. Auto off. Very good, daytime bright. But it's super simple. I got everything I need over here on the left side, and I can adjust everything with my left hand. I don't have to come off my firing grip and come up here and change my windage. I can do it all right here. Super, super cool. Big fan. I'll roll in a picture of the reticle. This has the Skimmer 3 reticle in it, which is really, really nice. I like it very much. It seems to be the perfect reticle, in my opinion, again, I guess. This gun, before I got this scope on it, had the Viper PST Gen 2 3-15. Yes, I understand that's underpowered. I thought I was going to buy a hunting style rifle. That's why I had that scope. However, the scope did really, really well on this gun. Held zero good, worked nice. Glass was really good, much better than the Gen 1 glass. But this scope kind of puts it to shame. If you're looking for a rifle scope to put on this gun and you can't spend more than $1,000, get the Viper PST Gen 2. There are a lot of good scopes out there, but I think for the money that gets you all the features you need and good enough glass to do it. Now, the Razor is a much better option, obviously, but the Viper PST will get you through it. Since we're talking about not being able to afford things and prices, this scope retails for $3,000. It's $29.99.99. I don't know that I've ever seen them on sale, but I understand that's a crap load of money for glass and that this rifle only cost $1,800. But I will tell you that just a couple of hours ago, I was in overcast. It was sprinkling. It was misting on me, and I was able to spot my shots on a shoot and see target at 500 yards with this scope. I was able to see my hits on the black and adjust, make wind corrections, and put hits on the bullseye at 500 yards. Now, next time you're shooting at 500 yards, use your scope and try to see what you can see. But the clarity, the glass, is absolutely second to none on this scope. It is gorgeous. The eye box is incredible. It's just perfect in my opinion. If you're looking for the best scope to put on your precision rifle, look no further. I think this is the one. Yes, there are a lot of good ones out there, but I think this is the one. One of the things that kind of tipped this scope over the scale for me is obviously the way that the knobs are set up. I'm a big fan of that. The other thing is the weight. Yeah, it's a precision rifle. I know it doesn't need to be super lightweight, but this scope I believe weighs like 33 ounces. And if you look at like the Razor, it's like almost a pound heavier than this scope. Now, yes, it's going to reduce recoil and such, but this gun is pretty heavy as it is. I don't know the specs. Like I said, I didn't prep. Last time I weighed this gun was with the Viper PST on it, and with the suppressor and the rest of it configured as it is, the gun weighed 16 pounds. It's probably pretty close to that now. It might be just a smidge lighter with the scope, but yeah, it's a pretty heavy rifle. I want to be able to move around with it. I am going to deer hunt this year with it, I believe. So it's nice being able to save weight where I can, but still having a super stable, heavier rifle. One note on that as we talk about weight, I will tell you that I've spent quite a bit of time shooting my buddy's T3x CTRs recently. And what I've noticed is those guns will shoot every bit as good as this gun, meaning they are capable of the accuracy, I believe, that this gun is. However, it's much harder to keep them on target and shoot good groups with them. Reasons I believe are because of the weight of the gun. It's much easier to pull the gun off target, even if it's just a little bit, than it is this gun. Even with those triggers set down way light, it's easier to move the gun because of the weight. A nice heavy gun will make it harder to jerk, off target. So that's something just to think about depending on what you're going to do. If you're looking for a hunting rifle, the T3x CTR is the Lamborghini. That's a bad analogy. You know what I mean? But it is, I think it's one of the best hunting rifles out there for sure. So yeah, that's something to note. So that's the glass. I'm running the sunshade on it because why not? And let's talk about caps real quick. So this is, I got a video on these caps on my channel already. You can kind of see it there. These are the Oddland Engineering ad mount caps. So these things are awesome. Go check out the video I got on my channel of them. This will give you a little sneak preview. Yeah, they open like really, really well. They close really, really well. They don't come off. You can't pull them off. You can't break them. They just they stick, man. They're incredible. And they're bulletproof and they got a lifetime warranty. They're about $100. It's worth it. A $3,000 piece of glass on your gun. Put good scope covers on it, please. These caps are freaking awesome. Strongly recommend them. Check the other video. Bipod. So I've been shooting with Harris bipods for a lot of years. and they're fine. They really are. They seem to do the job without a ton of issue, but they don't hold a candle to the Atlas. So this is the Atlas. This is the pick rail adapting model. There's a bunch of videos on this bipod and how it works, but I'm telling you right now, it's the best. Spend the money and get it. It makes your gun so much more versatile and allows you to get into shooting positions that you can't with a Harris, and getting into the right shooting position puts rounds on target. So the Harris BRM swivel model is the only one I'd probably recommend that you use by Harris for your gun. I think they're 120 bucks. This thing was like 210 or something. It's not a ton of money for the difference, but it's way worth it. As you can see, and as you've seen this whole video, you can move this thing any way you want. It's got a nice big knurled wheel here to adjust the tension for your swivel. It's got swivel and cant, which is something the Harris bipods don't have, and it's awesome. If you pair this bipod with the Kinetic Development Group Quick Detach pick rail, it makes it even cooler. So a lot of you are probably going, what the hell you want to take your, why do you want your bipod to come off your precision rifle? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I have two AR-15s that have M-LOK handguards, and if I want to shoot them for groups or whatever, or I want to, you know, test them or shoot long range, I can just pop this off and put it on there. So those 3 Harris bipods that you spent $330 on, you can just get one of these with the quick detach, and then you have the best bipod in the world, and you can put it back and forth, no problem. So something to think about. I think this rail piece is about 50 bucks. I will tell you that I had some issues with the first one I had, and that was because I ordered the small piece that just was barely, it was, I don't know, a 1 M-LOK slot rail, and it seemed like it worked okay for a while, but as I would go to load my bipod and put a bunch of pressure on it, it was snapping off after a while. So I called Kinetic Development Group and said, hey, what the fuck, guys? This thing keeps falling off, what's the deal? And they said, if you're gonna put this on a heavy rifle, get the 2-slot piece, send yours in, we'll replace it, and that's what they did. They sent back the 2-slot, and I haven't had an issue since. So something to know, don't buy the small one because it's not going to hold up to your heavy rifle, pretty much. Okay, that's it on the bipod. Get an Atlas, it's worth it. Let's talk about the muzzle. So I've run this gun exclusively suppressed. In fact, I run pretty much all of my guns. Well, recently I've been running my SBR unsuppressed, depends on what I'm doing. However, most of the places, well, one of the places that I can shoot long range, I have to be fairly quiet. I can't disturb the folks around, so this is a big, big help. This is a Silencer Co. Saker 7.62. This is by no means the best can in the world. That being said, suppressors are suppressors. They're big mufflers. Really, the mounting system and the way they attach is the difference. So on this gun, you'll notice it's got a muzzle brake. A bunch of precision rifle guys out there are probably just like, oh my god, why is he running a muzzle brake and not direct thread, blah, blah, blah. And I'll tell you why. Because I got other guns, and I shoot other guns. Precision rifle isn't even my forte. Defensive handgun and defensive carbine is more what I'm into than precision rifle. That being said, I run this can on all of those other guns. So it's great to have it come on and off. The attachment method you just saw there is the Silencer Co. Mad Mount. It kind of sucks. Now I say kind of because a lot of the other ones out there are really, really good. What I'll tell you about the Mad Mount is sometimes it gets stuck on, and sometimes it blows off the end. I've only had it blow off a gun 3 times, and it was probably user error every time. I didn't make sure it was quite hooked up all the way, but it didn't cause any baffle strikes, no big deal. It fell off in front of the gun, whatever, pick it back up. That being said, there are better options out there. If you're going to get a suppressor, if you're going to go with Silencer Co., I recommend the ASR mount. For a precision rifle, I probably recommend direct thread more than anything. It makes more sense. It should cause less point of impact shift, blah, blah, blah. You can watch a video on that by somebody smarter than me. But this is working fine for me. This gun shoots excellent with this setup the way it is. This gun's only had like 20 rounds through it without the suppressor, maybe. So I've pretty much, Jesus Christ, I've pretty much shot and suppressed its whole life. So it's wrapped with a silencer coat, high heat deal, which is great. Stops mirage if you're going to be running a bunch of firing strings, shooting fast, whatever. It also keeps you from burning your freaking hand off. So that's pretty much it. Now, I guess I will say that the muzzle, this gun does come with a muzzle brake, which is not, it's a pretty nice muzzle brake. It's a thread on and then it clamps on. It's got a screw on the top to allow mirage cover, which is pretty cool. I like the brake that it comes with. I never shot it. In fact, it's for sale. If anybody needs needs a muzzle brake, it's never been on the gun. But it seems like a pretty great brake. It's awesome that it comes with a brake. I really like that. So let's talk about the important stuff, how the gun shoots. So this gun, and you guys are on the internet now, so I'm sure you're on some Facebook groups or whatever, and you see guys post pictures of their groups all the time, and these guys are like, I shot this 0.35 inch group at 600 yards yesterday with my fucking 408 Chi-Tac 416 Barrett, whatever, and you're like, no, you didn't. Like, that's bullshit. So I say that because I'm gonna roll in some photos of some groups here, and I really don't want you to be like, yeah, that's bullshit, because it's not. I have no reason to lie to anybody and tell you that like I'm a really good shot. I'm not a great shot, and I'll admit that. But what I will tell you is that 95% of the groups I've shot with this gun have been half MOA, and that is out to 500 yards as of today. I've had half MOA groups at every distance to 500 yards. That a lot of it's factory ammo and a lot of it's hand loads, but they all shoot really, really well. So I'll roll in some pictures of groups here and I'll kind of notate what they are, but just know that this gun shoots incredibly. The first day I took this gun out, I'm kind of strange. I don't really believe in barrel break-in for some reason. I'm just kind of a stubborn asshole, and I'm like, man, if I give $1,800 for a gun, the thing better shoot, and I better not have to jump through any hoops to get it to shoot. So I went to the range, I took this gun out of the box, you know, I put the bipod on, I put the suppressor on, I had the Viper on it. After about 4 or 5 rounds, I had the gun zeroed, and the gun was shooting same hole groups. You've probably seen them already because I've been rolling them through, but putting 5 shots in a half inch of, it was Hornady 147 grain ELD match consistently, over and over again with no barrel break-in. I didn't clean the barrel, I didn't touch the bore at all. I pulled the gun out of the box and I fired it, and I was extremely impressed. My whole life I was like, man, I need to get better at shooting, and then maybe I could tighten these groups up. And come to find out, the rifles I was shooting weren't capable of producing groups like this one is. So yeah, incredible groups out of this gun consistently all the time. Factory match ammo, Remington core locked. 6.5 Creedmoor 140 grain, shot an inch group at 200 yards in this gun. That day I didn't go down to take a picture of it because I didn't want to call ceasefire on the range, but I saw it through the scope. It's incredible. So yeah, it works really great. I just realized I didn't talk about the scope base or the mount real quick. I'm going to throw that in there. This is a Night Force 34mm, obviously 20 MOA base. I believe it's made by Badger Ordnance. They make some of the best scope mounts and bases in the world. This thing's been 100% rock solid. What I'm going to leave you with here is don't buy shitty bases or rings to put your scope on your rifle. If the bridge from your scope to your rifle is garbage, your groups and your shooting and your gun will be garbage. Spend the money and get a good base, get a good mount. Night Force, any steel stuff. Night Force, the Vortex Precision Rings by Seekins, American Defense, Spur. You know the names because they're the expensive ones. Buy the expensive ones. Trust me. Sorry, we were talking about groups and how the gun shoots. So, ammunition wise, the majority of the factory ammo that's been through this gun is Hornady 147 grain ELD match. It's been awesome. If you don't know about the 147 grain, it's a heavier bullet than what the other typical Hornady loads were, or 6.5 Creedmoor loads in general, being the 140s. They're bumping them to 147 now in the Hornady. The G7BC, and I'm just bringing this off the top of my head, so don't kill me if it's wrong. I'm pretty sure it's .351, and then the G1BC is .697. Those are crazy high numbers, really high BCs. So if you want to shoot extreme distances, I'd probably recommend those bullets. You should probably take a look at them. But the factory ammo shoots great. Half MOA all day long, consistently out of this gun. Recently, I've done some hand loads with some Hornady brass. I've done some hand loads with some Nosler brass. Both shoot really well. I just got a hold of some Lapua stuff and the small primer Lapua stuff, and I have been absolutely pleased with the results. I picked up a 50 feet per second bump just by changing the powder charge. Well, sorry, by not changing the powder charge almost at all. I was able to pick up 50 feet per second just using Lapua brass, which is great. If you haven't seen the 6.5 guys little video blog thing on the Lapua brass, the moral of the story is they show video where they load the same piece of Lapua brass 20 times and fire it, and it doesn't fail. So yes, Lapua brass is expensive, but you can load it 20 damn times, okay? So that's what I recommend. Now, they eventually, like, I don't remember, they might have cracked the neck or something by bumping the powder charge off the charge or whatever, but look it up and go watch it. Get Lapua brass, it shoots really, really good. But factory ammo for me has performed excellently in this gun. I'm going to tell you what I'm shooting for my load data just because it's good info to have. That being said, don't blow yourself up, don't be an idiot, double check your data, don't take your advice from me on everything. Yeah, that's start lower than mine and work your way up. I'm shooting 43.1 grains of H4350 underneath that 147 grain Hornady ELD match bullet with Lapua brass and CCI bench rest primers. So that's what I'm shooting right now for a hand load, and it shoots freaking great. I was just shooting earlier today. I was at 200 yards, and I had like 3 rounds touching at 200 yards out of 5 with that hand load. So awesome. Works really, really well. Check that out. The last thing I want to talk about before I let you go here is the MagnetoSpeed Chronograph. So this is something I've kind of learned recently too. I was looking for a good chronograph for this rifle, and I did some research and found out that the chronographs, basically the cheaper ones, suck. They have built-in error to them now, and this is what I've been told. I don't know if everything I say is true. If it's not, let me know, please. But from what I understand, the chronographs have a built-in error percentage of 3 to 5%. The like Alpha Master one is better or whatever, but it still has built-in error rate. From everything I've figured out, either get the MagnetoSpeed or get the Lab Radar. I went with the MagnetoSpeed because I got a sweet discount on it, but also because I've heard with the Lab Radar, you have to kind of adjust it and get it just right. And if there are other guns going off around you, or if you're shooting suppressed or whatever, it can be something, it struggles. For me with the MagnetoSpeed, I play around a bunch with Subsonic 300 Blackout too, and with a lot of other guns. So I like the MagnetoSpeed because I can mount it on the end of almost anything and it'll work no problem. And it's easy. I don't have to take it a lot of time to set it up and all that. So I like the MagnetoSpeed V3. It's been freaking awesome. It's way better than a chronograph. Yes, it's more money, but I strongly recommend the investment. If you don't know how fast your bullets leave in the muzzle of your gun, you cannot build a dope chart and you cannot hit targets at long range, period. So long range meaning extreme long range, out to extreme distances. If you don't know exactly how fast that bullet's going out of your gun on, that day, or, depending on your ballistic program, what have you, then it's a lot harder to make hits. There's no point in spending all this time and money and building a platform and then cheaping out on your chronograph and it causing you to miss shots. That's dumb. Don't do that. Get a magneto speed. The lab radar is accurate from what I understand. It's just got some quirks to it. So this video has been stupid long. This thing's going to take me like a year to upload. I can feel it already. That being said, I'm going to let you guys go. If you have questions about the Tikka T3 TAC-A1, the scope, the suppressor, whatever, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. I hope this was beneficial. Go buy the Tikka T3 TAC-A1. The damn thing shoots awesome, and every other person I've talked to about it has said the same thing. So, yeah, I think that's all I got. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I still don't have some awesome, cool tagline. So, I mean, just, I don't know, go shoot your guns and don't buy cheap shit. Do what you can to get good stuff because it's worth it. Have a good day.